We're going to start riding some bikes now with Leigh-Ann Allaire Perrault. Hey, honey. This is a really exciting time for kids.
For sure.
You know, it's summer. They want to get out there, ride their bikes. It gives them a little bit of independence, a fun way for them to maybe get, you know, to school and to different lessons. But there is a progression. There's an evolution,
there
right?
There really is. And I think one of the most important things any parent can do is get your child on wheels as early as possible.
Oh, do you
as soon
think
as they can sit up, start with something like this.
Okay.
I love this little guy. This is the Smart Trike. And all of these great bikes are all from Canadian Tire, but I love this one because A, it has a sun cover, which is just great. B, it's assisted biking, so the child can sit in it. But C, this actually converts to an independent tricycle.
Oh,
which is great. So the little basket comes off. It's got a little storage cubby in the back there.
Right.
I know when my youngest was really little and he was on his trike, I would find dirt and Cheerios in the back, and he'd be eating them by the fistful. Like, they love a little cubby just to stash things, right? So this is great. And then the other important thing about starting them young is starting them with a helmet young. Even though they're in a tricycle and you think, oh, it's safe, it's stable, get the little infant helmets because you just want to get them conditioned to that is part of the biking experience. It's so important.
Because they can be a little fussy about the helmets, can't they?
They really
so you might as well start getting them used to it. It's something they have to have in order to ride.
It's the law.
Yeah, it is the law.
They have to be wearing it.
Look at that itty bitty little bike.
So isn't this just the cutest thing ever?
Cute.
This is the Lola, again, from Canadian Tire. Now, what do you notice about this that's a little different? It's missing something.
There's no pedals.
There's no pedals. So this is a balance bike, and this would be the next step up and starting to gain independence when biking, but without the stress of balancing on their own with feet off the ground. The idea is that they're literally going to, you know, pedal their own way around.
That looks comfy.
Oh, it totally was. But one really smart thing about this that I just thought, it's the little things when it comes to parents that are genius. There's a handle on the back. Because what happens when your child gets to the end of the road and they
don't want to do it anymore.
So it's lightweight, super lightweight, with the handle so the parents can bring it back home instead of having to like do this, right? Because I've done that too many times, riding it down the road.
Okay, so at some point they get into these bikes here, and these are bikes with training wheels. Look at them, all different themed, which is fun for them because they can pick out the ones that they like the best. So you got a little hockey star here.
I love that there are all of these great licensed bikes. They come in a bunch of the different NHL teams. And kids, what I find too, I know my oldest wants to personalize the bike. Now that he has freedom with hitting the road, it's like his little takeaway to pick the style that he wants. So having the training wheels is great. I do just want to say that with the balance bike, what a lot of people have found is that kids are skipping the training wheel stage because they've been able to figure out the balancing on their own. But the training wheels are still awesome. Again, for the stability. What I found too, you can't say, okay, you're 5 now, go ride a bike.
No.
They will not ride a bike unless they want to ride a bike.
Absolutely.
I know that I found that very recently, that my youngest just decided out of the blue that he was ready to ride a bike.
Okay, so he felt like it. So is it Everett? We have a video.
It's Everett, yes.
We have video right now.
I caught the magical moment. I can't believe I actually caught it. The two-wheeler on his own.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's take a look at this.
This was just on my camera.
Oh, I think that's Sydney.
Oh, that's
a black child. Okay. So that was...
Yeah, I don't think it's
Sydney riding his bike there. Here's the thing, and we found actually the same thing. We were a little bit lazy about getting them out on bikes, and it wasn't until they were sort of like, we want a bike, we want a bike. Okay, let's get you into the two-wheeler. Let's see about getting you on it. Leo took Sydney out, and it was almost like a second try. He was so, like, not even over the moon excited about it. We were like, yeah!
Right?
He's like,
parents get excited.
All right, and I read a book now. We're like, what? You just rode like the two-wheeler.
Yeah,
That's
for
amazing.
sure. Well, my Everett was really against it. He's a perfectionist, and unless he could do it perfectly, here he is here. This is the first moment ever that he mastered the two-wheeler, and we haven't stopped him since. He now bargains everything based on bike riding. Like, if I eat my dinner, can I go bike riding?
Oh, that's great.
Which is so great. But now what I love even more is my oldest, Nolan, he's like, so now we can go ride to the store and get Slurpees. So it's like this whole thing now, right?
The leash gets longer and longer. It's kind of terrifying as a parent.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a good thing, and it's sort of like, oh my gosh, you're on your own.
Yes, you have to release control. The bikes are a bit of a game changer, I have to say. So once we get past the training wheels, and even with the training wheels, one of the most important things is sizing your child properly.
Yes.
Because if they don't have the right size, they won't feel confident to get the feet off the ground and get pedaling. So I actually have a chart over here, which is really great, because really when we talk about sizing, it's all about the child's height. It's not so much about their age. Okay. Because I know like kids of various ages, various heights, right? It's their inseam, it's their height, and then you pick the wheel diameter according to that. For adult bikes, you're actually looking for the height frame. Yeah. For children, you're looking for the wheel size. Okay. So you really want to pay attention to that. So once we start getting out of the training wheel phase and you get a little bit more freedom, I love now that so many of the bikes are aluminum. They're lightweight, which actually gives a more stable feeling. The other thing when you're sizing a bike, and especially as you're getting into the bigger bikes, you want to make sure that the feet can touch the ground, which is important, and that when you're pedaling to the lowest point, there's still a bend in the knee. Right. So I find a lot of parents want to invest in a bike that the child will grow into. I know. You're setting yourself up for some accidents. You still want that bend in the knee so that the foot can come off the pedal and be stable. Yeah. And then this one I just have to show is kind of being the coolest bike ever. I love it. I may have been caught riding this around the studio once or twice. This is actually an all-season bike. Okay. This one, the tires are like that? You can take it out in ice and snow. Wow. So once they get the biking bug and they don't want it to end, they can actually bike all season long with this one. That is so cool. Which is really cool. And if we have a quick minute, I want to show you a tip for sizing helmets, because this has to be probably one of the most important things. It is, because their heads, I mean, what I've noticed with the helmets is you can't use the hockey helmet. It has to be a specific bike helmet. Exactly. And you have to get them, you have to change them all the time because their heads grow, or if you're my daughter, her hair grows. Well, or not only that, it's just huge. Not only that, it's also really important to inspect your helmet, because if you've had one fall, you probably need to throw it out. You need a new helmet. Because the styrofoam inside can crack, the outside casing can crack. Yeah. So I have a really quick tip as a takeaway. Okay. It's called the 2V1 tip when you're sizing a helmet. Yeah. 2, you start from the top of your head, work down. 2 fingers should be able to fit under the front, but no more than 2. You want it to sit nice and forward. Always protect the coconut, right? The V is the ears at the side. You want to make sure your ear is centered to the V and that the bottom of the V comes just under the ear, right? So it's nice and secure. And the one finger under the strap and no more. Ooh, that's a good way to remember. So as long as you size your child, and that's the other thing, take your child to size the helmet. Don't just pick them up. Don't buy them a bike. Don't buy them the helmet as a surprise. Yeah. Take them in to size or do the exchange with them in person. It's very important. You should keep that on. And plus, it's important and stylish, right? Yeah, it's absolutely. That dragon look. I love it. I like it. All right, let's go to break. More coming up. Really good tips.